thank you to Software Heritage for inviting me today. I am a lawyer and a venture capitalist working in the open source software space, and I'm talking to you today from Oakland, California, in the United States. And thanks for arranging so that I could present remotely. I appreciate that. So I want to take a very brief time to tell you about a project that I've been working on called FOSSDA, the Free and Open Source Stories Digital Archive Foundation project. This project is an attempt to capture an oral history of the free and open source software movement. And the reason that I thought this project was important to create is that in the open source software movement, we are kind of getting to the point where some of the original participants, who I'll maybe call the first generation participants, are moving on in various ways, and we need to pass the torch to the next generation. And if you look out there at the information that is available about the open source movement, there's a lot out there about maybe the history, maybe the philosophy, but what I thought was important to capture would be people's personal stories about why they participated in the movement. The reason I think that's important is that open source software it's a grassroots movement. You know, it was created by people who wanted to improve the circumstances of the world by making software source code available to everyone. And because it came kind of from the bottom up instead of the top down, I thought it's important to capture why people did that, because that doesn't happen so often in the world. And to have a movement like that be as spectacularly successful as it's been and have so many good effects, I thought the next generation, I think will benefit from knowing why people did this on a personal level. So I decided to start capturing some of the stories of the original participants in the movement. So I have created a not-for-profit organization in the United States and have started to get this project off the ground. I'm going to show you a few things about the project in a moment, but one of the things I wanted to emphasize is that, I wanted to get this project going, but I don't necessarily want to control it. So I hope that when it gets to be more mature, the community generally will control it, and certainly not me. I've just done sort of the initial funding and I'm trying to get people interested in the project. So I'm going to share my screen here. Just a moment. There we go. So I hope you can see the website screen now. This is our brand new website, which has just gone up in the last few days. And this website was done in partnership with Their Story, which is the platform on which we're doing the oral history recordings. So I invite you, when you have a moment, if you'd like to take a look at something interesting, to take a look at the website. There are also links on this website to, there's information about the project and some details about who's involved and what we're doing, as you can see. And also we have a couple of things that might interest you. One is we have a highlights video. So I did an initial pilot project to record 4 different oral histories, and I put together kind of a highlights reel from that. In a moment, I'm going to play a very small portion of that, but I invite you to look at the whole highlights reel because I think it's extremely interesting. I also wanted to point out that there's a button on the screen, help tell a story here on the right, and that will take to a survey where you can communicate with the project about how you might like to participate in the project. One of the things I'm interested in is just getting people involved, whether they want to be interviewed, to perform interviews, help with fundraising, help with organizing the project. I'm open to input from anyone who's interested in the project. So let's see, I'm going to now show you the highlights reel. So can you see the YouTube page there? Oh, okay. Tell me if, please wave at me or something if any of this doesn't come through. Let me look at the chat, hold on. Okay, great. Okay, so what you're gonna see is a very short portion at the end of the highlights reel. Oh goodness, okay, I have to redo this, okay. Just bear with me a moment because it's making me redo this. I had it all set up, but I'm going to go to, let's see, there we go. Okay.
You can't hear the sound.
Oh, you can't hear the sound? Okay, that's probably an issue with Zoom. That's unfortunate. So I think that I will not play the video, but the portion I wanted to share of this was very interesting. It was an interview with my friend Bruce Perrins, who was one of the progenitors of the open source software movement. And what he said, I'm going to paraphrase, of course, is that he was working at Pixar at the time, and Pixar went public, and his friends asked him, wow, aren't you excited that your company went public? And he said, well, actually, what I'm really excited about is that I wrote some software that ended up on the Mars Explorer. So he was explaining, you know, part of what his motivation was about participating in the open source software movement. So I highly recommend the highlights video. It's some interesting stories, and it's been kind of reduced to a nutshell. Also, I'm going to show you the survey here. So if you click on the link, you can sign up for the mailing list. You can also tell us a little bit about, you know, your thoughts, and also indicate if you're interested in being interviewed and in helping with interviews, and so forth. So that this is the way to communicate with me about the project. That's about it. I'm going to stop my screen share. Hold on one moment, please. I need to get, there we go. Make sure I said, oh, okay. I'm going to share my screen one more time. There we go. So this QR code that you're seeing there, that goes to that survey if you feel like capturing it right now. And I have to thank the people at Their Story for you know, helping me put together the website and all this stuff. They were super helpful for this. Last thing I'll say is there have been other projects to do oral histories of mostly of specific open source software projects, and I am interested in hearing from people who have done similar projects and would love to be introduced to them and try to collaborate. I'm, you know, hoping that I can help coordinate getting all this information together. And then once the information is collected and we have lots of oral histories to share, you know, the objective is that they will be available to anyone who is interested in doing journalistic work, doing historical work, and so forth, so that you know, so that the personal stories can be shared with everyone.